Hey peoples, this is another movie review of the movie Fractured. As always, I want to say thank you for listening, that really means a lot to me. And before I get on to the review, just want to say that the reason I haven't posted reviews is because I've been traveling, but I am back to my regular schedule of pretty much every day except the weekend. But anyway, moving on to the movie. So Fractured is a movie on Netflix. It's about a man named Ray and his wife and his daughter. They're all traveling during the holidays. While traveling, they pull over to a gas station, and while at the gas station, his daughter falls off of a ledge and hurts herself, and Ray dives in after her and also hurts himself. So they rush their daughter to the hospital, but Ray is noticing that certain things at the hospital are kind of weird. So a doctor eventually sees their daughter, and he says that I want to do an x-ray on her. So the mother and the daughter go to an elevator to go to the x-ray room, and Ray goes into the waiting room and waits for them. After a while, they haven't shown back up. Ray's looking around. The people at the hospital claim they don't know what he's talking about, and Ray claims that they have taken his daughter and his wife, and he's on a mission to try to save them in this hospital. And that's the movie. So this movie has a twist ending, and that's not a spoiler because this movie basically fails itself early in the film by showing its own hand. What I assume supposed to happen in the movie is that we believe everything in the hospital is true. The movie proposes two storylines within it, which is that the hospital is doing something corrupt, or our main character Ray is going mentally insane. The problem is that early on, the movie kind of tells you what the true story is. And all you have to do is notice that a character changes the way they act before and after an event. That sounds vague, but you can use context clues and figure out what I basically mean. I'm just not trying to come out right and spoil it. And that's the issue throughout the whole movie. So by the end, you're just waiting for the revelation. And you're like, okay, so show me what the actual truth is, even though I kind of feel like I already know. Now, reality in this movie is kind of altered because you're trying to figure out what story is actually the truth. So it's kind of hard to critique it on all points because you watch it and you're like, they wouldn't do that in real life. But also, is this real life? Is this the truth? Am I seeing the true story? Or is this part of the twist at the end? So it's hard to critique in that way. One thing I will critique is the music and the ambiance of the movie. Earlier in the movie, before anything happens, they go into a gas station, and it gives this eerie feeling in the movie like something is up at this gas station, like something is up with the clerk at the gas station, as if this lady is a part of the full story, but she's not. And that was really strange because she ends up not being important whatsoever. Now, I will say throughout the movie, some things don't add up, and some things are placed to be coincidental in order to try to trick the viewer, but they don't fully work because it seems manufactured within the movie. And that kind of takes away the suspense of the film because everything seems just too coincidental to try to lead you in one way when you know something's wrong with this whole situation. Only one character really bothered me, and that was a therapist character introduced later in the movie. She was super annoying and was jumping to conclusions very quickly. I don't even know why she was introduced, because if this was happening in real life, the hospital wouldn't just say, oh, go get a therapist because they're gonna help out in this situation. No, the person acting irrational would get arrested and then taken to a facility where they would hold him and then figure out what they want to do with them. But there are multiple things in this movie that doesn't seem to make sense in compared to real life. Yes, I know it is a movie, but it's certain things like our main character getting into a secure place in the hospital, them saying call security, but also not shutting down a hospital because that's hospital procedure. Watching a doctor tackle our main character, also you wouldn't see that in real life. Why would a doctor tackle a patient? You again would leave that up to security. Situations like that happen throughout the movie and make it seem too unbelievable, and it took me out of the film. And to hit on the other things like acting, it was okay. Some of it seemed too dramatic at times. Some characters came on too strong at times and they weren't natural. It was just very aggressive the way they were acting. The writing and dialogue is kind of messy. Some characters will say things that don't have to do with the situation at hand, but they're said in order to move the conversation to a different direction, but it's not natural whatsoever. But that's pretty much it. I wouldn't suggest watching this movie. It was a frustrating watch for me. I did not enjoy it whatsoever, and I don't think you will either. But that's it, peoples. Thank you for listening as always. Please like, thumbs up, subscribe, retweet, comment, follow, all those things. I really appreciate it. Please continue to have a great day. God bless. I'll talk to you tomorrow.